Yo, Darius Britt here, and today we are breaking down the Guardians of the Galaxy. It was directed by James Gunn, partially written by him too. It's based on comic book characters in the Marvel Universe. How awesome is this movie? It's just a fun movie. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. When you're learning storytelling and screenwriting, it helps to break down other movies into their various story elements. I will be using the 3-act structure to break this down, so if you're not familiar with that, I will leave a link in the description section to a video on that. Total runtime is 2 hours and 2 minutes, and I do believe that it is about that time. Let's get into it.
Prologue. Pete's mom dies of cancer. Super sad.
Moment of silence.
Act 1. Setup.
Guardians assemble.
Inciting incident. Peter steals an orb. C-story setup. Sister beef. Ronan sends Gamora to Xandar to retrieve the orb. Her sister Nebula isn't too happy about it. B-story.
The Guardian family.
The would-be Guardians meet and they all punch each other in the face. Then they get sent to the Slammer. First plot point. Lock in. The Guardians work together for the first time to escape prison.
It's official, they're a team.
Act 2, Part 1, Sell the Orb. I want my money, fool! The crew try to sell the orb in a place called Nowhere. B-story.
Guardians fight.
Peter and Gamora share a moment right before the knives come out.
Ooh, she's kind of dangerous. That's kind of hot.
After seeing the bottom of a couple alcohol bottles, Drax and Rocket fight each other in a bar. Midpoint climax, Secret of the Orb. This midpoint is a huge turning point that changes the direction of the story. We learn the stone inside of the orb is super destructive.
Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be?
Act 2, Part 2, bad guys close in, fall to a defeat. Ronan shows up, mops the floor with Drax, and gets the orb. Quill saves Gamora from an icy death. Both get captured. All is lost. Ronan turns on Thanos and becomes all-powerful with the Infinity Stone. Dark Night of the Soul. The Guardians are all down. They don't think they got a chance. Second plot point, the plan. Peter Quill rallies the Guardians. They devise a plan to stop Ronan with Gamora's insider knowledge. Act 3, save Xandar. Aerial dogfights, crash landings. This chick gets an early Christmas present.
Traitor.
C-story climax. The sisters duke it out. Gamora wins. Explosions. First plan fails. Climax. Race for the stone. Purple fireworks. Character arc. In a flashback of his dying mother, Peter Quill takes Gamora's hand, something he couldn't do when he was just a little boy. B-story climax. Hold hands to save the day. Character. Peter finally opens the box that his dying mother gave him a bajillion years ago. B-story resolution. Guardians are pardoned of all their crimes and fly off one big happy family. Boom. Structure.
Some interesting things going on here structurally. Usually Act 2 is about twice as long as Act 1, and Act 3 is shorter than 1 and 2, but here Acts 1, 2, and 3 are all 40 minutes long. Outside of the business with the orb, Act 1 is mainly about bringing the Guardians together. Naturally, they all hate each other's guts at first, and they couldn't be further away from being a family unit, but once they come together, Act 1's pretty much over.
Character.
One of the biggest successes of this film are the well-drawn characters. They're very sympathetic figures for the most part. Yes, a lot of this could be attributed to the acting, but I think the story really brings it too. Peter Quill's got issues. Right before his mom died, she reached out for his hand and he didn't grab it. How traumatizing is that? Yeah, that definitely messes with you.
He spends the rest of the movie dealing with this. One of his most defining moments as a character is when he goes back into danger just to grab the Walkman that his mom gave him.
And how badass is Rocket the Raccoon? Practically like steals the whole movie. In that one scene where he breaks down in the bar, that one gets me every time. He's so broken inside because he's been experimented on for most of his adult raccoon life. And in that scene, like, they really make us understand why he's so tough as nails. He doesn't even feel like he's CG. That's great writing, great voice acting. I actually sympathized with Gamora quite a bit in that prison scene where everybody hated her guts and they were just like throwing crap at her. I mean, life must be hard enough growing up with Thanos as your daddy. I feel like you can make a whole nother movie out of that backstory alone. Aside from warming up to the rest of the crew, she didn't really have a character arc, but she didn't need one.
Drax is a big idiot, but he means well in his own savage, I'll rip out your spine kind of way. I'll be honest, I didn't really get the feels for him with his whole family backstory, but I did when he screws up in the middle of Act 2 and realizes later on that he risked everybody's lives for his stupidity.
Sometimes we do dumb shit. We've all been there.
Drew is just a lovable treat. His head is empty, but his heart is full. He brings a warmth to the crew that's the perfect counterpoint to Rocket. All of the characters are broken in their own way, but when they come together, they make each other whole. At the heart of this movie is the creation and exploration of a family. I didn't feel that Ronan was very fleshed out as a villain. His radicalism was a little scary, but outside of that, there wasn't much else to him. We see that Thanos is the real bigwig pulling the strings, and this really kind of takes the steam out of Ronan because now it just feels like we're watching a lackey. Notes.
The film doesn't really take itself too seriously, and that's the beauty of it. It's got like this perfect balance of comedy and drama.
1 minute somebody's about to blow up a planet, and then the next somebody else starts dancing.
It's a good ensemble cast. The soundtrack is off the chain. James Gunn, you killed it. Well, that's all I got for you. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like, go subscribe. You can find me on the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, or the Twitter, baby. You can also check out my sick YouTube channel, Darious Britt, where I vlog about my adventures on the film festival circuit, live casting, vlogs, etc., etc. I do believe that's all I got for you, suckers. D-Bird, Apple, you.